Hi, Rebecca Marina Messenger. Have some pen and paper and do this exercise with me. We're going to be talking about getting in touch with your inner child. Now, I studied a lot of inner child work with Dr. Lucia Capacchione, who's written a book called Recovery of Your Inner Child. I highly recommend it. And here's the thing about the inner child. Everybody has one. And it's that small, maybe little lost part of you that wants to get its needs met. Now, if you had a real healthy childhood, you might not have such a big inner child, but most of my clients did not have a very happy childhood. Mine was pretty traumatic. We're not going to go there because we're not here to talk about how traumatic our different childhoods were. What we're here to talk about is how to get in touch with yours. So, why would you want to? If you're having sabotages going on in your life, a lot of time it's the inner child throwing a fit, trying to get your attention. So, one way to make your life better is to mollify, get in touch with, and actually play with your inner child. So, how would you do this? The simplest way is with pen and paper. Now, we're going to do some non-dominant handwriting. And I suggest you do it along with me. Just a really brief, this is a mini workshop, by the way. It's not a 2-minute deal. I suggest that you write a question with your dominant hand. And mine is my right. Yours might be your left. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to give you suggestions about what to write in case you're not in tune with your inner child. This is one way to get in tune. So with your dominant hand, you might write a question such as, why don't you do it right now? Then you can email me and tell me how it came out for you. So, dear inner child, write that down. I'll wait for you. How are you feeling today? Dear inner child, how are you feeling today? Now, switch the pen. Before you answer, I'm going to tell you a little bit about non-dominant handwriting. Your non-dominant hand, which for me is my left, it might be the opposite for you, is hardwired to the right side of your brain. The right side of your brain is where the inner child hangs out, hasn't learned to lie yet. And so you can tune into streams of wisdom by doing this process. Also, it also helps to increase your psychic abilities by writing with the non-dominant hand. So you put it in your hand. Now, don't think a spirit's going to come and move your hand all around. That's not going to happen. You're going to get the first word that comes to your mind, and you're going to write it down. So, what does your inner child have to say? How are you feeling today? I'm going to do this with you. Let me see what mine has to say. Aw, mine says, I'm sad. You're sad? Aw, baby, I'm sorry you're sad. Now, looking at me, you wouldn't think there was a sad bone in my body, would you? But my inner child is feeling sad. So I'm going to put the pen back in the dominant hand, and I'm going to ask her, why are you sad? You always ask a question with your dominant hand, then put it in your non-dominant hand to answer. Why are you sad? And whatever yours said, then you ask, why are you, maybe yours was happy. What makes you happy? What makes you sad? So then I'm going to play with you. I'm giving my own self-therapy Why are you sad? And then I put it back in the non-dominant hand, and I'm going to see what, I might not share. It might be too embarrassing. But if it's not too embarrassing, I'll share. Aww. Aww. I'm sorry. Well, I will share. Why does my inner child feel sad? She says, because I have no home. Now, why doesn't she have a home? Because I'm in between places to live. My time was up in Houston. I'm staying with my children right now, waiting for Spirit to tell me where to live or where to go. So I feel happy staying here with my children. They're grown up, of course. And my inner child feels a little sad because she wants a home of her own. But can you see how this can work? Now, what did yours say? I want you to email me and tell me what yours said. I'll give you my email at the end of this. Well, it's real easy. See that RebeccaMarina.com right there? Rebecca at RebeccaMarina.com. Because I have no home. So I'm going to ask her, and you ask yours too, what can I do for you? What can I do for you today? Put that. As a matter of fact, that's a good question to ask periodically. What can I do for you today? Now you're writing with your dominant hand again. Now put it back in your non-dominant hand, and what does yours have to say? Remember, I'm doing this with you. You do it too. And I'll share with you. My little baby girl says, be sweet and extra loving to me today. Aww. So how could you be sweet and extra loving to your inner child? You can be sweet and kind to yourself. Every time the inner critic pops up to criticize you, then just cover that with love and forgiveness. Forgive yourself for all the mistakes that you've made and may be making at this very moment. Show yourself love. One of the sweetest ways to show yourself love is to touch yourself. And I'm not talking like that now. Don't get all excited, although that's okay too. But I'm talking about just touch yourself. Give yourself loving touches. You know, I used to be really overweight, and I would look in the mirror and I would just criticize myself for being overweight. And one of my angels, Miss Sassy Gabriella, said to me, Rebecca, you're never going to lose weight as long as you criticize yourself. Start to love yourself and start by touching yourself. When you're driving the car, touch yourself, caress yourself, be kind to yourself. Actually, it feels really good to touch your own skin. And we're taught so many weird things. Don't touch yourself. That we don't give ourselves loving touch. Well, maybe we don't have anyone else in our lives to give us loving touch. I've also discovered cats are great for loving touch. Cats can be very sensual creatures to love up on you. So can animals, so can dogs. Maybe that's one reason animal lovers love their animals so much, because they give them unconditional love and loving touch. By the way, animals crave loving touch. They never get enough. So one of the things I recommend that you ask your inner child is make an inner child day, because your life will really improve when you pay attention to your inner child. And you might say something like, "Dear inner child, what would you like to play today?" They're not interested in working, honey. Get your inner critic to help you work. Dear inner child, what would you like to play today? And then put the pen in the non-dominant hand and answer. I'm reminded of one lady who was in the training program when I was with Dr. Lucia Capacchione. And she asked her inner child, "What would you like to play today?" And the inner child said, "Barbies." So she actually went out and started buying Barbies, and she was some kind of psychologist. And do you know that out of that, she came up with Barbie therapy, and she had clients who loved acting out scenarios with the Barbies and getting real good emotional help with Barbie dolls. So pay attention to your inner child, and don't be so cotton picking serious all the time. Life is meant to be joyful. Life is meant to be enjoyed. So play and have fun. Now, I'd love to hear what your inner child had to say. You can either, if you're not embarrassed, leave it in the comment section below, or you can email me at rebecca@rebeccamarina.com. And by the way, I just love making videos. So what would you like me to make a video about? Whatever it is, I might have one already. However, I love new topics, and no topic is off limits so far. So let me know what you'd like to hear, like to see, and I'll be back real soon with another helpful video. This is Rebecca Marina Messenger, and subscribe to my channel if you like this kind of stuff. Bye now.